I have a question for everybody. What do you guys see when you look at this screen right here?
A bunch of normal teenagers.
Normal teenagers, young teenagers, America's youth, you could say, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. Actually, these young faces are all victims of teen bullying, cyberbullying to be exact. Also, these are all young victims that have committed suicide due to relentless online tormenting. So today, what I want to talk to you guys about is what is cyberbullying, why is it such a problem here among our teenagers, and what can we do to prevent it? We need to understand what the problem is before we can come up with solutions to rectify it. Cyberbullying is also known as internet bullying. It's a form of teen violence that has the potential to cause lasting harm to young people. It involves the use of technology. Now obviously, we're all familiar with technology. We all have laptops, computers, cell phones, iPads, etc., right? I don't know of one person who doesn't have some electronic device that they can access the internet with. Do you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, well, since technology is on the rise, cyberbullying is also on the rise, and that's going to increase our cases of bullycide, which we'll touch on later. According to bullyingstatistics.org, a survey done in 2010 reported that 50% of young people have experienced cyberbullying at one point in their lifetime, and 20% experience it on a regular basis. So that's a huge problem, right? I think it's mostly in part because of internet uses is easily accessible. A survey done by the Cyberbullying Research Center showed that over 80% of teens use a cell phone daily. Okay, and how many of these teenagers are being monitored? As far as parental guidance, it's hit or miss. You don't really know what's going on in a home situation. You just see everybody on their phones, getting on their Facebook accounts, making tweets on their Twitter accounts, and whatnot. There are a lot of lasting effects caused by cyberbullying. An article titled "Victims of Bullying Suffer Academically" was written by Stuart Wolfer, and he stated that cyberbullying can lead to increased alcohol and drug use. Students tend to skip school for fear of being harassed and tormented. Grades drop, self-esteem is lowered, a lot of young females start cutting. Increased health problems arise, and anxiety and depression are common among victims. There was a study done by UCLA psychologists involving 2,300 students in 11 public middle schools in the LA area that concluded that a student that is bullied often has a grade point of 1.5 points lower than an average student. So that's kind of a large drop. So these are all keys, they're signs that teachers, role models, friends, parents can all be on the lookout for. Earlier we touched on bullycide. Amanda Todd, born 1996, committed suicide in 2012. Megan Meyer, born in 1992, committed suicide in 2006. Now, bullycide is a fairly new term that came about. It's used to describe suicide caused by excessive online bullying. These victims' deaths are often highly publicized in the media. And it's really sad to think, because how desperate must a child feel that they feel forced to take their own life? Amanda Todd committed suicide on October 10th of 2012 after more than 2 years of being tormented online and also at school by students. Megan Meyer hung herself in her bedroom closet on October 17, 2006, after being bullied online by a teenage boy on a MySpace account. Now, after the investigation was done, it turned out that this teenage boy had a profile actually created by family friends who lived down the street from Megan. They targeted her weight and other things that she was known to be self-conscious about. Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, all of those social media websites are making it very easy for teenagers to become targeted on. because they're not monitored as well as they should be. So the big question is, how can we stop cyberbullying? Well, it's a serious issue that needs immediate attention. We need to put an end to cyberbullying to protect our children and possibly save a life. Parents and children need to take a stand and speak up, can report hate spread through cyber activities to appropriate authorities. Some solutions for cyberbullying: mandatory education and strict monitoring of all social media sites. Now, mandatory education would be fairly simple. I think education required prior to setting up any type of networking social media account would be great, to educate teens and parents on what cyberbullying is and inform them of all inappropriate behaviors and consequences. And that kind of leads to our strict monitoring. If these sites are monitored 24 hours a day for all types of online bullying, such as threats, pictures, offensive comments, etc., accounts can be immediately shut down so there's no further harassment or bullying done to that specific person. Now, as far as implementing the mandatory education, it'd be fairly simple. Education is key to create awareness for cyberbullying. And it's important to require this education prior to creating the networking account so that teenagers and the parents understand the cyber world and the risks it entails. The mandatory education would be fairly low cost. It's something that could be set up. We all, read online agreements and have to click that we accept. It could be a little more detailed and in-depth to add the education. It'd be easy to implement. Like I said, it's already in plan. There's just a couple things that need to be tweaked and added to it. Not really any negatives could go along with this. There are numerous resources available. And education is always effective. Education is key, like we said. The strict monitoring of accounts is going to be a little bit more costly because you're going to need the staff to monitor the accounts 24 hours a day, and you're going to need the technology as well. So it can be slowly implemented to show effectiveness for individual sites. Potential downfall could be a resistance of Facebookers or whatnot. Popularity could decrease for the social media sites, but again, there are several resources, and this would cut down the instances of cyberbullying because you're shutting down the accounts, you're putting an end to the gateway, you're taking a stand, and you're trying to stop it. So in conclusion, cyberbullying is a fast-growing problem that needs immediate attention. Teenagers are suffering long-term effects, and cases of bullycide are on the rise that we had discussed earlier. Awareness and education are key in putting an end to online bullying, and monitoring social media accounts and reporting cases to proper authorities can save a life. So basically, parents need to be educators and role models for our teenagers. They aren't meant to be best friends. Don't be afraid to correct your children or your friends if you see online bullying taking place. Guidance can go a long way. So everybody needs to speak up and take a stand against cyberbullying. I want to share a couple of little mini stories. There's some victims here. Rebecca Sedgwick is a 12-year-old girl who jumped to her death from an abandoned cement factory in Lakeland, Florida. Ryan Halligan, whose pictures were all on the first screen, was a 13-year-old boy who committed suicide after being continuously tormented on his AOL Instant Messenger account. Kenneth Weisham is a 15-year-old boy who took his own life after receiving death threats online for being gay. Also, Amanda Todd's story. I provided a link on YouTube. It's about an 8-minute video, and it's actually Amanda Todd. She recorded it, I believe it was approximately a month before she committed suicide. It's called My Story: Struggling, Bullying, Self-Harm, and Suicide. And I've also provided my resources, some articles used for this. Does anybody have any questions on cyberbullying or what it is and how we can stop it?
No.
All right. Thank you very much.